Good morning, viewers. Today I'm going to be talking about some common rust problems on some of the Toyota vehicles. And so I have a couple examples at the moment. A 2005 Corolla, and in the back a 2010 Corolla. So I'm going to be showing you some common rust issues on the body, on where it's more prone to rusting. If you don't wash the vehicle often enough, and if you don't rust proof your vehicle every year, if you live in the rust belt, it's always a good idea to rust proof your vehicle every single year to prevent rust from forming in the first place. So right now we are going to be looking at the 2005 Toyota Corolla. The most common issues for rust building up is usually on the driver's side underneath the door sill. So if you take the door sill out and remove it, you can see a bunch of rust all built up here. Now, a few years back, I was kind of in a hurry, so I used a different colored paint. I sanded everything down and stuff, and I repainted it, but still the rust came back after a short while later, and I sprayed some of the rust proofing stuff. This is the family car. It's a very old car now, so we don't really, like, we still take care of it and stuff, but we're not really, we don't care too much about it, like the appearance and stuff. So we're just trying to do on what we need to do just to keep it on the road. So I used a different colored paint. I didn't follow the paint code in which you can find on the VIN number. You'll see there's a paint code here. It says where it says C/TR 1E7 is the paint code. So you should use the same paint color when you're doing the painting. But in this case, we don't care too much. Just to keep away from the rust. That's all. So you can see all the buildup of rust. Usually the driver's side is the worst because you're going in and outside of the vehicle often. So every time you get in and out of the vehicle, you are introducing water. You get a lot of water in the area here, especially if it snows. You will be getting a lot of water here. So this is a hot spot and where all of the water accumulates. So that's one thing. And also I noticed that there's a small hole underneath. I'll show you in just a moment. I'm just going to close this. So I'm still on the driver's side. You'll see that there's a hole here. Even though that the vehicle was rust proofed each and every year, you still managed to develop a rust hole through the body panel here. It's not a structural damage or anything. I think it's just like on the body panel or something. So it's not anything like major, but it's very bad to have anything like this on your vehicle. So, but this vehicle now is 19 years old, almost 20 years old now. So this vehicle has had its time now. So I'm saying that this vehicle has had its time now. We've had this vehicle for 20 years. It has served our purpose. So it's pretty much had its time, but it'll probably still go another 5 years or even longer. Who knows? So now we're going to go to the passenger side. So we're going to go to the passenger side now, and it's the same thing, but it's not as much. You won't see as much rust. See, there's still quite a bit of rust here compared to the driver's side, but the driver's side has more rust to it. So and I don't see any holes or anything at the bottom where the rocker panels are. I don't see any holes here. I don't see like any holes the same way as the other side. So, and you can go to one of the one on the rear passenger. You still see some rust here. So it's very common to develop rust underneath the door sills. So the best thing to do is to remove these every year and spray it down with some like a fluid film or some rust proof spray of your choice. It doesn't really matter too much. Some guys, they've used all sorts of things, or you can go to a Crown to rust proof it, and to get the guys to do this for you. And some guys use something called, I think it's called corrosion free or something. Just there's all sorts of products out there. I use fluid film personally, so you can use on whatever you want to use. And so another common rust prone area would be somewhere over here. I've seen on the 2003 to 2008 Toyota Corollas, they start to bubble and they rust quite a bit. But if you have rust proof the vehicle, then you won't really see much rust. You see here the paint has started to bubble here. So it just has started now. I've already seen cars now that are not even as old as these vehicles, and it's already all like rusted through and stuff. So you can see the paint has started to bubble here. So I think that's it for the most part. I know that sometimes it could rust on the roof somewhere on the engine where it if you have a paint chip somewhere, it's common to rust somewhere here. So the only way to prevent this is to rust proof the vehicle and to wash it often. And as soon as you get any sort of paint chips on your vehicle, is probably best to touch it up with a touch-up pen. So that's that for the 2005 Corolla. Now for the 2010 Corolla is a similar thing. I'm going to remove the door sill here. I do have another customer that has a 2012 Corolla and has a lot more rust than this one, than the 2010 Corolla. So I'm going to remove this. I did the rust proof recently. You could see some rust here. I already sprayed a lot of stuff here for now. You see some rust build up and bubbling of the paint. And over here, you can see the rust over here. So there's only a tiny amount. It's not too much, but I kind of wish that I saw this sooner. Than I could have rust proofed it earlier to prevent this from happening. See some rust over here. It's not too much. It's more like I think it's more of a surface rust. And over here you can see there's like a double layer of metal. There's one underneath. So you gotta make sure that if you're going to spray it down, spray inside the holes and the crevices and everything to prevent the rust from forming in the first place. So I'm just going to put this back. So we are going to go to the passenger side now. So this is the passenger side. I don't really see much. Probably a tiny bit maybe. I don't really see anything here. Now, typically, if you have a passenger coming with you in the car often enough, and then there will be a lot of there will probably be a lot of buildup of rust on this side. Now, the only reason why the driver's side has more rust is because that's the door that's used often, because you are driving the vehicle, right? So that is the door that's getting used often. So there needs to be a driver in the car. So you're constantly coming in and out of the car to use it. So that's how the water is coming inside. So when you get inside here, water is coming in and then accumulating in there. Eventually, at some point, the moisture is going to work its way through and then start to get inside the paint, and then oxidizes the metal, and then you have rust forming after that. And for the back, it's exactly the same thing. Just trying to take this off. And the back is gonna be the same, but I don't really see much here in the back. Maybe a tiny bit of surface rust, maybe, but I don't really see much here, so that's okay. Usually, the most concerning part is usually the driver's side in the front. Now, on these vehicles, I haven't seen too many rust issues on this, so I haven't had any problems with rust forming anywhere on these vehicles, because they changed the styling and stuff, and they started to use plastic rocker panels. I believe that this is plastic here, so it's not going to rust. So I think you might be okay for the most part, but there are a lot of paint chips on this vehicle, so you have to touch up the paint chips with the touch-up pen as soon as you notice the paint chip. Otherwise, it is going to turn into rust. Now, on the 2010 Corolla, when I purchased this vehicle brand new, I did have an issue over here in the trunk where the paint was bubbling. So I had a piece from the body shop, from the Toyota dealership. It was covered under the 5-year rust perforation warranty. This was before the 5-year mark. I had some rust bubbling somewhere between here and here. There was some like bubbling over here, so I had it replaced or fixed somehow from their body shop. So at one point I was able to tell the slight difference in color when I just had the repair done, but I don't think you will be able to tell from here, compared from the right and the left side. So that's the only problem I had on my personal end. This is my personal vehicle, so I just noticed the bubbling of the paint. So they replaced the piece or something. I'm not sure on what they did, to be honest. I'm not a body man expert, but anyhow, I think that's it for the most part on this vehicle. These vehicles don't have too many rust prone areas, to be honest. The only issue is to watch out for the wheel well area. Sometimes they can rust if you don't do the rust proofing and don't wash the car often enough. It's common on a majority of vehicles on where it rusts in the wheel well area. And I don't know if I noticed that Toyota use this piece here for some reason to prevent paint chips or something, I think, so that it doesn't rust here. But I heard somebody a long time ago telling me that it was a bad idea, but I haven't seen any problems with these. If you look at the other side, is the same thing. So I don't see any issues or rust here. Just inside here, you need to watch out for, and to spray and rust proof inside here, because that's where all the water, dirt and rocks is going to travel through. So you can see some rocks in there already. So you have to make sure that you treat that area, because it's a rust prone area. I don't really see much on this car though. So I also have a 2009 Pontiac Vibe GT. I removed the door sill on this. This vehicle is pretty much a Toyota vehicle. It's not exactly GM. It's just a rebadged Toyota vehicle with the GM badge. So I'm looking here on the Vibe, and I removed the door sill, and surprisingly enough, I don't really see any rust here. So it's quite strange. I see almost absolutely no rust, which is interesting. So this is pretty much the same design and style as the 2009, 2010, maybe up to 2013 Corolla with the door sill, this door sill style. So that's that. I haven't even rust proofed this area, but I have rust proofed this vehicle. I got this vehicle used from a customer in which they gave up on it, and I replaced the engine in it, and now it's back to a drivable machine now. So I'm probably going to spray down this area after this video. So I'm wrong, actually. I see a little bit of like bubbling of the paint. You see just a tiny bit on the paint here, but just very tiny amount of surface rust, which can probably be fixed. So it's not going to be on all vehicles, but it's going to be dependent on the conditions in which the vehicle was driven, and how it was taken care of, and where the vehicle is, the the climate. So everything is going to vary, but it's just it's something to check for. So I think I covered pretty much everything. It was just for the most part, I wanted to talk about the door sill area on each of the doors. It's very important to do each door if you want to rust proof, to remove all four of the door sills, and rust proof it with something. Wash the area down and then rust proof it, just to make sure that no rust is going to form. Now, I'm pretty sure that it's not only common on these Toyota vehicles, but it's probably common on other vehicles too. It's not only on the Toyota vehicles. I think a lot of vehicles is very common prone, so you have to watch out for that if you really want to take care of your vehicle and keep it for 10 or 20 plus years. So that's it for this one. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please don't forget to give it a like, and please consider subscribing to my channel if you're not already a subscriber, and please don't forget to hit that bell notification if you haven't done so, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day and take care.